Nerd Soul.
Oh, yeah. Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing the street geek and nerd soul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and let's go because we got the Marvels, y'all. We got the Marvels. That's right. We talking about the Marvels. So, before we get started, if you're brand new, thank you for rolling through. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching for 1 second or all the seconds, you know what I'm saying? If you're brand old, thank you for coming through because we about to get into that Marvel stuff now. I'm gonna start out with the spoiler free, and then I'm gonna get into the spoilers. So you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta worry about it. Now I'm gonna give you some basic thoughts, how I felt about the movie. Then I'm gonna dive in. You know what I'm saying? So that's all you gotta worry about. You know what I'm saying? Worry about when I say it's spoiler time. But besides that, let's giddy up and let's go. So, do I like the Marvels? Am I feeling the Marvels? The answer is yes. You best believe that. Yo, hey, if you were coming in here and expecting me to crap all over this movie, you can go on and bounce and, say la vie, take it easy. You know what I'm saying? Sorry I couldn't hate the movie for you, but you know what I'm saying? I don't hate this movie. I actually enjoyed myself thoroughly. I want to give a shout out to Nia DaCosta for basically bringing back the fun in Marvel movies, bringing back some enjoyment because, bruh, look, it was a struggle. Y'all know it's been a struggle, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about this movie, and Nia DaCosta comes through along with the cast is killing it, and just like I thought I would have fun from the trailer, due to my sheer enjoyment from your girl Miss Marvel. I have to say once again, this movie was fun. So basically, when it comes to this movie, I went in there expecting, hey, just give me something, let me have some fun. And this movie opens up and it kind of brings us into where we left off of Miss Marvel, and we get to not only get into her life but these three different women's lives and how they've kind of like coincided, and from the emotional standpoint between each other, their interpersonal relationship that they build, I really enjoyed it, man. They as a ensemble cast, as a I guess as a chemistry with one another, it makes sense. You have this relationship between Monica and Carol, where of course she called her her aunt. So you have this relationship that is pretty much coming back and I guess reigniting that relationship that they had there and picking up from there. Then you have this sort of, I don't know, celebrity, worship, hero worship that, of course, Miss Marvel has towards Captain Marvel, and that gets worked out. And I think it works out in a very, relatable way, where you have these three characters that are intertwined, but not, intentionally so. And I think the way they work out their differences with one another and work out what's going on with them is very interesting and also very, very touching. You know what I'm saying? The way they deal with a lot of their emotions when they get into different, I guess you could say without spoiling, when they get into different conversations, different explanations for what has gone through over the years. On the Saber side, we do get a more full description about what's going on in Saber, and it fills out their role a lot more than, of course, before we've just seen Nick on the ship, and that's it. He go up on the ship, come down on the ship, and I know we were all disappointed earlier this year. I'm not even going to touch on that. That's gone. It's over. I did a video for every single episode. That's over. It's done. Let it die. But here, I do enjoy our time on the ship. I enjoy our time on the ship. I enjoy our time with the ladies. I enjoy our time with with Miss Marvel's family. And bruh, look, I love her family. Honestly, straight up from the brother to mom, dad, like all of them, man. I have a great time. Whether it's Amir, whether it's Mrs. Khan, I want to say it's Muniba. I'm sorry, I know I'm probably screwing that name up, but I love them as a family, man, for real. Like I couldn't love Miss Marvel's family more, but I've already remarked on that when we covered the show. And we have a new villain, and the explanation for this villain, I think, does a good job of showing how deeds can be seen from different aspects and different perspectives, and what the desperation that can cause. And I dug it, man. Like straight, flat out dug it. Like the way they built the villain, they were able in a good way, due to Marvel's history, they were able to quickly build the villain due to us having the history of the previous films. And this woman's passion in Darban, this woman's passion is understandable. I mean, now of course Kree, they're still they still ain't nothing. I'm just the Kree, they still ain't nobody. But you understand her perspective due to her station in the Kree, society and the Kree Empire. So as far as all of the relationships, I dig it. As far as the chemistry, it makes sense. One thing that I really enjoyed was the action. We get to play around in some very cool ways with the switching of their powers, them getting their hands around it and their minds around how to move, how to work together in tandem, how to become a team, basically. And I think, honestly, the action was on point. I definitely, especially when the action that you kind of get a glimpse of in the trailer, where they're back and forth in the house, I really dig that action sequence. Like, for real, for real. So, all in all, I was very entertained. I think this is definitely worth going to see on the big screen. Normally, I'd be like, yo, you can wait till it comes home. And I mean, you could do that too. I mean, it's all up to you. It's your dollars. But I enjoyed seeing it on the big screen, and I wasn't mad that I spent that money. Like, if I told you, like, when Blue Beetle came out, Blue Beetle is a movie that I enjoyed, but I said, hey, y'all ain't got to run to the theater on this one. This one, I spent my money, and I wasn't mad that I spent my money on Blue Beetle, but I will say I enjoyed this film more than I enjoyed Blue Beetle, but that's also because, your boy's in it, and I ain't even gonna go there. He in it, and he kind of whack, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna go there. But this film, I was laughing, I was cheering for a couple of moments, and that's what I need, man. I got my mind off of the regular world and was able to jump into the Marvel universe and enjoy my time with this adventure that these ladies kind of got sucked into, and I had a lot of fun. Nick is a lot of fun. Of course, Kamala is a lot of fun. Seeing Carol deal with Monica makes a lot of sense, and I'd say this is one that's worth it. This is one that's worth it. This, I will say, is a very good addition after Guardians 3, because Ant-Man, I was like, Ant-Man's alright. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to write home about, but I do feel like in that movie they were at least connecting back to, like, okay, there's a shared universe. It seems like we have some semblance of a plan. Then Guardians 3, I was like, word up. All right, cool. Here we go. And now with this one, I'm like, word. All right, we are firmly at least it seems that we're firmly in a direction of this whole multiverse, because of course they call it the multiverse saga. And I'm going to be honest, all through phase 4, they ain't seem like they had no plan. And with these reports, whether they cap or not, it's not really helping their case. But with Ant-Man, Guardians, and Marvels this year, I will say I feel that they are charting their path in a more solid and understandable foundation right now. And then when you have Loki to go along with it, then I'm like, cool. Loki is a show. I just wish they would focus as much on their other shows as it seems that they focused on Loki, but that's a whole nother thing. So, with that said, should you go see it? Yes, I think it's worth it. Also, do I like it? Yeah, you're darn tootin'. Now, let's get into the spoiler time. So, for y'all, look, it's spoiler time. Praise the Lord. It's spoiler time. Praise the Lord. That's right. Look, it's spoiler time. Y'all know the dealing. Y'all best believe that. All right. So, if you don't know anything about the movie and you don't want to know nothing about the movie, it's time for you to get out of here. So now I'm gonna run through a bunch of the characters and kind of how I feel about the movie. As far as the premise of the film, I think it makes a lot of sense and it gives us a chance to connect with a whole bunch of characters. Like we get a chance to connect back with Tessa's character. Like we get a lot of moments where we get to make it seem like this is a interconnected universe once again. You know what I'm saying? Once again, we look like we're together. We look like this is a unit. You know what I'm saying? Which I fully enjoy. So I want to talk about Carol for a second because of course she's Captain Marvel. She was the first Marvel, and then the other ones followed. So I'm gonna go Carol, Monica, Kamala. So Carol in this movie, we find out kind of why she's been such a loner and what went on 30 years ago with that whole destroying of the I can't remember what is the super intelligence or the high mind or whatever it is, the Kree AI intelligence, when she destroyed it, how it essentially destroyed Hala as a whole, and her carrying that weight is the reason why she's all on some like, I gotta do it myself, dog, I'm on my own. But her feeling that shame and not wanting to return to see Monica as a child until she had kind of, I guess, redeemed herself to herself. You know what I'm saying? That had consequences. Like, you know, like Monica's sitting there saying, hey, I just wanted you. You know, I wanted to be with you. What are you thinking? Like, I know you might have gone through something and made a big mistake, but I'm not here to hold you, you know, hostage for that. Even if it's something that you did that was wrong, I might say, hey, that was wrong, but I still want you here so I can love on you and you can love on me. We can be family once again. You know what I'm saying? So her always being such a loner makes a lot of sense because now we see that she hasn't really felt worthy of her position in Monica's life and most likely in the rest of, you know, her friends' lives as well. Especially coming back and seeing Maria and knowing that Maria is gone and her, you know, I guess maybe feeling like there's nothing else for her to come back to and maybe feeling too ashamed to show her face to Monica. But I think it's always best, regardless of how ashamed you might feel, you gotta go home, man. You gotta see those loved ones, man. You gotta wrap your arms around them. You know what I'm saying? On the flip side, shouts to man, yo, when we find out that Carol is a princess, bruh, look, y'all ain't tell me nothing on that. I was like, hold on, princess? Yo, and not only is she a princess, but she's the princess on the singingest planet there is. And I dug that. I dug that little change of pace because it continues to show, even like with was it Prince Yan? That's her prince, and is, you know, it's a, like she said, it's a legal issue. I like seeing this part of the Marvel universe because it continues to let us know out in space things is different. And like they have to speak through song, and then her saying that he's bilingual because he can just, you know, talk to people. I thought that was cool, and it continues to drive the point home of what we see in Guardians. Like, hey, when you go out to space, like, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be like, you know, I mean, all those people was fly, like their clothes was amazing, but it was just like, so y'all just gonna sing all this? And yo, shouts to your girl Carol. Not only did she have the Captain Marvel dress, but did she hit some notes on you? I mean, even though I doubt that was her singing, maybe it was, I don't know. But homegirl was getting her sing on. She had to sing to her, man. And look, y'all can say, look, Carol can say it was, you know, it was a political or legal thing all she want. Prince Yan is not an ugly man. All right, she knew she was up there swooning. All right, I'm just saying he was putting on the moves and she was putting the moves. You know what I'm saying? It was a double moves, but they, I enjoyed just seeing her in a different light, seeing Monica and Kamala kind of tease her about it as well. It showed how much of a like a unit they were becoming. I thought that was like a beautiful thing. I really enjoyed that. But then also seeing Carol start to realize that she doesn't have to carry all this weight, man. Like you can share this weight with your family. That's what your family's there for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, Dominic Toretto will tell you, boy, look, family's there to ride with you. You know what I'm saying? You ride together, you die together. Bad boys for life. Yes, that's right. You just got you just got multiple references inside of that. But anyway, I I like Miss or Captain Marvel now more than I've liked her in previous properties due to having this current or this new understanding of what she's gone through and seeing her play off of Nick, seeing her play off of Kamala, seeing her play off of Monica and seeing her say, "Hey, I have to apologize. I have to, I have to humble myself." And not maybe not even humble, more of just like realize that I have a responsibility to my loved ones. Like, yes, you have a responsibility to your duty as Captain Marvel, but you also have a responsibility to Monica as her aunt. You gotta see her. You gotta lay eyes on this girl. You gotta hug her. You gotta tell her, like, I know your mother's gone, but you ain't got nothing to worry about because I'm right here beside you. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna be right there with you. Those things. Monica needed that. You know what I'm saying? And having her go through that realization was, I think, is great for her character. Like, I really do. I think that was awesome for her character. So with that said, of course, there's more to say about Carol, but I'll move on and get into Monica. Because Monica, we haven't seen her in a while, and I like her new title of Captain, and of course, seeing her, spacefaring, doing her thing up there on Saber. It seems that she's kind of gotten into her kind of groove of just like, hey, this is what I do. Come up on here on space, make sure things is cool, use my powers here and there, and everything's fine. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of put this on autopilot, if you would. And having her thrust into this changes, I guess, her perspective on what her priorities are. Because I'll talk about the mind meld thing that they share, even though it's not a mind meld, but I mean, it's a mind meld. But the responsibility that she has to her just day in and day out grind changes very quickly. And she has to kind of sink into her role as Carol's niece, or kind of like chosen niece, and then also become a big sister to a certain degree for Kamala, because Kamala is thrown into this. And don't get me wrong, Kamala is, she's hard body, man. She official. She had her own show. All right, she had her own show, and not only did she have her own show, but she proved herself. You know what I'm saying? Homegirl, she a hero. She a straight up hero now. So look, I gotta give it to her, and becoming that, I guess, filling that role of sort of a niece slash, sibling. I mean, a niece and a sibling type of vibe is interesting to have her go through and see her walk through it. And the beautiful thing is that they walk through this together, all three of them, and seeing even Monica realize that, hey, I've got to work out my powers a lot better than I have. I've got to try more. I've got to do more, because there might not be anyone else. You know what I'm saying? There might not be anyone else to do this. And like, for instance, when they were switching powers over again and Kamala was falling and Nick was like, go get her. She was like, I don't think I can fly. He's like, have you tried it? Like, he's like, go on, black girl magic. So that was something that was funny. And also seeing her expand her understanding of her powers and her stepping into the fullness of her powers. You know what I'm saying? Because without this, she may have been content with just doing what she does. Use a little light here and there, maybe, fix some electrical stuff and let that be it. But her coming into her own, phasing through people, fighting, and then using her powers more of an offensive, as an offensive device. Also using her powers to fly, things of that nature. That that showed a level of growth that I didn't know I was gonna get in this movie. I really wasn't sure what to expect from her, but getting her emotional growth, also her kind of her closure on her mother, which was kind of also reopened to a certain degree in a touchy way, but her closure and then her also reconnection with Carol is something that I thought was really cool, man. I really dug it, especially when it came to the moments with all three of them together. And it's cool to see her and Carol sort of as the big sister roles to Kamala. This is one thing that I think we should get more from in comics is seeing their relationships to younger heroes. And I mean, I guess we'll be stepping into that later on. We'll see. But seeing them, relate more to the youth. Shouts out to the youth, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just relating more to them, I think would be something that's awesome because it's that they all they got, really. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all we got. And then on to I'll talk about this. Another thing is them teaching Kamala double dutch, which is another kind of big sister moment that I thought was cool, man. Just like something that's like it's just very familial, like big sisters, like friends. They really become a unit on that ship, and it's something that I was just like, man, this is so cool seeing them be friends with one another instead of just like, hey, we're getting together, we got a battle, let's go. They actually became friends with one another, and I thought that was something that was beautiful, man. Like I did not expect for any moment to see this level of bonding, but I'm glad that I got it. Because now in later projects, Carol knows she has someone she can lean on. Monica knows she has someone she can lean. Well, Monica at the end of this movie, we'll get to that later, but Monica doesn't really have anyone to lean on right now. Um, oh boy, but Kamala has someone to lean on. And I think heroes need that more than they need your basic fighting situation. You know what I'm saying? They need someone that they can count on, that can love them, that can hold them, that can, hold them accountable, that can, tell them, yo man, you tripping, or tell them, nah, you got this, go ahead. That kind of thing. Now to my girl Kamala, bruh, look, y'all know I love this girl. Look, Kamala, she all right with me. I am so happy to have a character that is excited about heroism because there's so many heroes that are just like, this is something I got to do. This is my duty. I must save the city. And she's just excited about it. And it's good to see someone that's upbeat, that's positive, that's cheerful, that's kind, that's has a optimistic outlook on life. Like, it's great to add that person into the mix of these things. I mean, even when like Carol and Carol and Monica fly off, and she turns to the Kree, she's like, I can't fly. So she's like, do y'all have a ship or something I can, like, I enjoy that. And then Carol coming back and getting her, like, don't talk to them. Like, so I enjoyed that kind of loving innocence around her character is just something that I really enjoy, man. I can't get enough of Kamala Khan. And when you add in her family, bruh, her family is so awesome. I love her family. I love the family like connection, and they seem real. Mama seems real. Daddy seems real. Brother seems real. Like, even he was like, look, you can't leave me alone with these two. Like, man, it's it's a beautiful thing, and I love the way they just interact with one another. It seems so genuine, and that's the kind of relationship that I loved in the Miss Marvel series, and it comes through here and really brings a whole new life into a Marvel film. Usually in a Marvel film, like say if we got Avengers or Iron Man or I don't know, Thor or something like that. It's kind of like the hero, maybe one or two friends, and that's it. There's never really like a family vibe that's in there that you get. And I mean, on the DC side too, we don't really get that. And it's so beautiful to have that. That's why I really enjoyed Blue Beetle the way I did, because the family vibe was there. Of course, you have, a comedian that I am not too keen on in that movie, but you know what I'm saying? I love the family vibe. And I love the fact that she doesn't have a secret identity from her family. They know. And they are like taking part in helping her be that. So it's something I really dig. So seeing her get the other bangle, use the other bangle, and then be to a certain degree sort of like a protector for it is something that is awesome. So I want to see more from her. Definitely. I definitely want to see more from her. And I believe we're going to see more from her because what is it? In the like right before the post credit, we see her approaching, of course, Hawkeye, the new Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and we see her basically saying, "Hey, look, let's start a new team." So Kate Bishop and Miss Marvel being the first ones, and her saying like, "I have feelers out." It's awesome seeing her step into this kind of like semi-leadership role. You know what I'm saying? Because she's the first person that's kind of starting this team, so she's, reaching out and making these things happen. And I think she's the best person for that because she's just such a positive, energetic person that is the type of person that makes you say, you know what? Okay, let's do this. If you sit around someone who is mean and surly, I don't know if that will work. But I love Kamala Khan, man. I can't express it, man. I love characters like that either do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and also characters that like enjoy. It's nice to have a character that enjoys being a hero. That doesn't treat it like this horrible burden, but they're like, no, I love this. Before this gets super duper long, because I don't want to hold y'all forever, but maybe I'll get a round table with some folks and we'll talk about this movie if enough people like it. I don't know how many people like it or don't like it, because I stay away from reviews until I end up seeing it and all that stuff. But my man Nick. All right, let me talk about Nick for a second. Y'all know how I felt about Nick, or how they did your boy Nick in the film. In the series of Secret Invasion. But here, it is nice to see him back into a role where he's kind of like taking charge. He gets a little action in, which is cool. And someone who is helping these three realize, look, y'all got to get together. You know what I'm saying? He definitely falls into a very good coach role. And it works well. And then also seeing him with the family and like reassuring Kamala's family that things are going to be okay, and figuring out things from like the coach / GM level is something that I've always enjoyed from Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury. So we get more of that, and I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was really cool. I want to shout out to your boy Goose. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Flurkins. They came through. Cats be tripping, but they did the Flurkins came through today, and I understand why we had all the cat promotions. It was still kind of weird, but I think Marvel went a little over the top with the cat promotions, but look, I see why they did it. And you know what? The Flurkins that came through, the Flurkins helped out. I don't know what happened to those people. I don't know where they were. If they were like, maybe their stomach is like a different dimension or something. I don't know. But whatever it is, the people came back all right and everything was cool. So you take that. I guess I'd like to remark upon the Skrull Kree situation. In Secret Invasion, we mentioned Emperor Droge on what is it, Tanex or Canex? I can't remember the name of the planet, but we mentioned him for a little bit. And at least from my perception, I thought that he would be mean, overbearing, dictator like. But when we meet Emperor Droge, he seems to be very even keeled, very kind of like thoughtful, very loving of his people, and very respectful for the station that he holds and the obligations of it. He doesn't seem to be this kind of tyrannical type dude, and that's something that I was expecting. And when I didn't get it, I was like, oh, okay, this is a change of pace. And seeing how he cares about the different the different citizens or whatever, and how he was kind of like putting their thoughts and their wishes first, I thought that was cool. I also thought the Kree was not playing, man. Like, what is it, Bardin or Dinbar? I can't remember her name. Sorry, I'll pronounce it right. It was Darbin. Sorry, Darbin. When she showed up, look, she was like, "Hey, look, you can get down or you can lay down. What you want to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we taking this planet back, and if you don't give us this planet back, we just gonna strip your atmosphere." Like, yo, bro, she was not playing no games. And now, I will say something that I thought was cool that I caught a whiff of. There's a moment where she's talking to Droge, and I think she said something to the extent of the Skrull are going to betray the Kree again, or something like that, or that like are you gonna betray us again, or something like that. And I was like, whoa, that's nice to get a little history behind, because the way we were told is that the Kree were just beating them down and blah blah blah. And I said it in the show, like, yo, we missing some story, because ain't nobody hunting you down like this if you ain't did nothing. But I mean, you never know. So after hearing that betrayal thing, I wonder what that betrayal was, and also how long ago it was, and if it's applicable to the situation that she was talking about right then. But her showing up, being like, look, I don't know what you mean about good faith argument. I ain't worrying about that. I'm here to take your atmosphere, and that's it. And you can either get down or lay down. So that moment definitely showed that the Kree and the Skrull actually can come together. Now, I don't know how positive it's going to be, but they actually did come together. Something that they did come together for a little bit without a bullet or nothing. So that was surprising. But the kind of following evacuation of 10X, I believe, and I'm pretty sure I'm messing up that planet's name. Just hit me in the comments, let me know. But that evacuation also showed a very big heart on the part of Emperor Droge, and how he was trying to save as many lives as possible. It was heartful and also honest to see Carol tell Kamala, like, we can't save everybody. And, they left a lot of people. And there was nothing, there was pretty much nothing they could do. They had to go. And it drove home how real these attacks from the Kree are, and how many people it affects. And how far Darbin is willing to go for her planet. Because of course she's like, look, my planet's hurting, but she's not showing up like, hey, can y'all help my planet, help us figure something out. She's just like, nah, I'm gonna steal your stuff. Even when they went to Prince Yan's planet with the singing and all that, they just stole their oceans, bro. They just took them joints right out. Now at the end they did say that, hey, we're gonna figure out a way to kind of help these people. So that's something that's cool. But bruh, man, come on now. They was straight up depleting y'all resources from top to bottom, full 100%. But I guess the last thing I'll remark upon is the final credit scene where we see Monica after her sacrifice to kind of close the time space rip, because she was like, look, that's another dimension over there. There's, and kind of tying in with whatever's going on in Loki, that's another dimension over there. And we can't let these things come together. I gotta close it. Of course, I don't think she knows about an incursion, but that would be an incursion to a certain degree. So her going over there and closing it, waking up, seeing her mother, but her mother being like, I ain't your mama. But her face, the acting that Tiana did in that scene, it was, she killed it. And shouts out to Lashana Lynch, because her look of surprise and bewilderment was awesome too. Like, that was really strong and powerful when she woke up and saw her mother just sitting there breathing, living. You know what I'm saying? So that was awesome. And then of course we get to see Beast, the real Beast. You know what I'm saying? Not some animal, but the real Beast. We saw Hank McCoy, and I was like, you know what, Hank looking pretty good. Like, he really looked good. And he mentions Charles. So now, okay, we know we somewhere where the X-Men are up and running, and it seems that maybe at least wherever they're at, they're not in danger. So who knows if there's an existence of Sentinels right now, or Orcus, or whatever. Maybe I'm getting way too ahead of myself. But it was cool to see her mom with both bangles standing up, like, hey, who are you? And regardless of who she is, you can see, you meaning, the other Maria, you can see how she looked at you and how she cried when she saw you. This woman is not a threat. But I assume maybe they already know, because to close that rip, I'm sure they noticed her and saw her close that rip. That's why she's in there in the first place. So this is just something that I think sets off the universe in a very good way. Something that we should have gotten way back in Phase 4, but Phase 4 was a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to leave that back then. But what I can say is, with Ant-Man, which I thought was okay, with Guardians, which I really enjoyed, with the Marvels that I really enjoy, I think we're getting back to pace, to where it's like, okay, we're starting to seem like a connected universe again. For instance, when we saw Tessa's character from the Thor, as a Valkyrie, when we saw her come through, and we know that she's taking those people with her to new dag, I'm trying to think. Y'all look in the comments, y'all help me. Y'all let me know. But pretty much her coming in and helping out on the whole Mercy mission, I thought that was dope, man. It was way more than I thought we'd see. I never thought we'd see Valkyrie come through and kind of bring people to New Asgard, to help out, I guess to help out the new refugee group of Skrulls. Now, the only thing is, I don't know if Valkyrie knows, but right now, Skrulls ain't too well liked on planet Earth, due to everything that went down with the president and all that stuff. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe we'll see some more following in maybe New World Order, maybe. But they've completely, you know what? I'm not going to talk about anything in the past. Well, it's hard because since it's interconnected, it's hard. I would have preferred Secret Invasion to go a different way, but since it hasn't, we'll see how the American public, or not the American public, just the Earth population, how they feel about new Skrulls arriving on Earth. And I'm surprised, like, Nick didn't say anything, but maybe Nick is just like, look, this is all we got right now. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I do think these last couple of movies, this or last few, I guess, this is three. This Guardians and Ant-Man are starting to show that Marvel is trying to connect the dots once again and have things feel like everybody's in the same place instead of, phase four, which seems like, everything was just everybody out for themselves. And now it's starting to seem like we are in a universe together. So, guys, holla at me. I'm gonna holler at you down in the comments. My final thoughts is that I enjoyed this. I'm glad I went, and I can't wait to watch it again. And I feel like if we keep rolling with like Nia, shouts out to Nia DaCosta, we keep rolling with that. We keep rolling with stories that show that, hey, this is an interconnected universe, and people can call on one another. I think we're gonna be all right. I think we're gonna be looking good. So, of course, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you have to switch places with someone else that has similar powers, or until the next time that you have to save some scrolls from another refugee mission, this is from me to you saying, peace.